Hello everybody, this is Candles and Glasses by Tafan. I will be showing you how to make your gel candles and also etchings on glasses. So first we start off with this glass here. It has a nice little design that's sitting on there, as well as we need the etching cream. So we use etch cream. You use a little paintbrush for it. You stir up the etching cream really good. Then what we are going to do is put the etching cream on top. So you want to just rub it in just like that there, just kind of like you're painting. Make sure it gets on there really, really good. Just like that. Okay, and then once you are done, you are going to let it sit for a bit. So this is what it looks like with the etching cream on there. So we will let it sit for about a couple minutes just to let it sit in and settle. Now while the etching cream is settling in, we are going to start preparing the actual candle. So I use a double burner instead of using my stove. As like that. So there's my pot that I have that I use. You can use any pot that is safe for putting gel candles, gel wax inside of. So I use this kind of a pot right here that has like a little small little pouring spout on it, so it can help me out a little bit easier when I'm pouring into the actual candle. So we are going to turn this to low. Now I normally use the oven for it, and when you use the oven you need to use like a little measuring glass, so per se, for the oven. I don't put the pots in the oven, but I'm pretty sure you can, but I don't. I use the pans, the pots and pans for on top, and I use the measuring glasses that goes in the oven. So I'm not going to do that today. So we're getting this ready. Now you want to get the gel wax, which is this right here. Comes in a tube, just like that. You got to be careful not to get any water or anything in it. I use a spoon to get it out. You don't want to use your hands because your hands could be dirty. Make sure it's protected. So we are going to scoop it out and put it into the pot. It is really, really hard to get out as well, as you can see. And this is what it looks like. And then we just put it into the pot. I will be putting more in there, but just to get it started. Okay. And I'm still trying to get it. I'm at the bottom of my bucket because I have been making lots of candles and selling them. So you want to get right in there. Get it all up and get it in there. So normally I start off with, just a little bit, just to get it to start melting. So it will take it a while since it's on low. It's going to take it a while to melt. So while this is melting, we're still going to be preparing our glass. Okay, so now this has set for a little bit. So now we are going to rinse it off. So we're going to, run some little nice warm water, not too hot, um, not too cold. And you're just going to run this under the water, just like that there. Try to help get it off of there, just like that. And then I normally take this off, rinse it off. So we're going to reuse this. This is reusable. Okay. And then I set it over here onto the towel and dry it off a little. And then still rinse this off. And then I'm going to set this upside down and let it dry. And then I'm going to do another side of it. So you want to make sure that the glass is really, really, really dried really good. Okay. So see, there's your design. So I'm going to put it over here on this side. And we're going to do this until we get all the way around the glass. Okay, and you have to make sure that it is sitting on there good, because if it is not, it will actually mess up in between the glass. So if there's air bubbles, you have to get it out really, really, really good. So you don't want to mess up the design at all. Because then if you do, you would have to actually try to fix it with something. So we're going to do that again. Put the etching cream on there real good throughout the whole design. I've got to cake it on there. Okay. And we're going to let that sit again. So this is what it actually looks like when you are done with the whole sides all the way around. Okay, this is going to be used as the candle. Okay, so this is still going. I have added some more gel to it, so it's still, melting down in there. Sometimes I tend to lift it up from time to time and see how much is actually in there. I have gotten good to where I don't need actual measuring to see, how much that I have in there versus my glass. So the consistency is very different once it melts down. You would have to keep doing this more and more so that you can get used to how much you need to melt to fit in a certain glass, different size glasses. So when I first started off, I started using the Pyrex, and now I'm just using the pots. And with the pots, it's a little bit different. Like my first couple pots, I did put in like little scratch marks to show where I was at in for a certain glass, because it was different from the Pyrex. The Pyrex I can see, the ounces and everything like that. So this is a little bit different for me. I have been getting better at it, to where I'm not making too little or too much of the candle. So now, while this is going, we are going to prepare the glass still. So I do have, this is the little wick sticks for it, excuse me. So I have that. And we are going to use I like to use the string ones sometimes. So we're going to use the string ones. And sometimes I do them myself. Sometimes I buy them already pre-made, the wick sticks. And so I put that in there, like this here. I have my own little clamper that I use to seal in the actual string part of the wick. So I just squeeze it just like that there. This one did kind of bend up, but I do go around and I unbend it like that there. And now for the little stickums is what I'm going to use when I want to actually stick this to the bottom of the glass. So the stickums you can get from a Hobby Lobby, I believe Michael's, but I order mine online. I like to order a lot of my stuff online. My glasses I do get from the thrift stores. They're cheaper. They're pretty. You can choose a whole, whatever you want to use with the glasses. But the only thing is that you have to make sure that they are thick enough to withhold the heat. So here is the wick, the homemade wick in the glass. And I'm actually waiting on my little wick holder to come in. So I have been going the cheap route right now, which is popsicle sticks and a rubber band. So when you're just starting out, you're on a budget, possibly, and you want to go the cheapest route. So you make your own homemade ones. And this actually holds up. The wick and keeps it straight for me. So that once I pour in the candle wax, it won't go like this or, wiggle around. I won't have to hold it myself. I can just do this and pour it in. So now that is waiting for the actual wax. Okay, so this is still melting. I'm going to actually turn up the heat just a little bit, just to get it going some more. So it looks like it kind of slowed down since I was not tending to it. And that's a good thing that I like about these double burners. They do automatically turn on and off. And right now it's on. This one's off because I'm not cooking on that one. So if feel any movement, it will automatically, not come back on, which is really, really good. So the candle that we are going to do is going to be an ocean mist scent. So I do buy my scents. You can get them from the hobby stores. Again, I do sometimes get my stuff online. Excuse me. And the colors. This one is a cranberry, but the first glass that I'm going to use is going to be like a turquoise. I get these little bottles right here. You can get from Amazon. Excuse me. I am an Amazon junkie. I love Amazon. Also, sometimes it depends on the glass that I use. I also use, a funnel. This one is an automotive funnel. And I do use it to pour into the candles because sometimes you want to be careful, because if you pour too fast, it can become bubbly and have that champagne type look effect. So that's another reason why I have this pot that has this part right here, because it pours better versus just a regular pot that just has just the full round sides. Okay, now to stir it up, I do like to use another popsicle stick. You know, make sure that it's stirred. Keep checking it from time to time. Make sure that it is okay. You can, when you're first starting out, you can use a thermometer right here, which it does. This is a candle thermometer, well, candy one also. It does tell you the flash points, when to use, when not to use. If it's too hot. So for the ones that I use, normally it should not go over 175. So roughly about right here. If it goes over that, then I have to cool it down, because then it is extremely too hot for anything. And you also, when you're buying your scents, and you would have to make sure that they are for gel candles, if you want to do gel candles, because they do have different scents for different types of candles, like your soy and your paraffin wax, and they have different flash points. So you want to be careful with the scents that you purchase, because not all scents is made for this type of candle. So this is what it looks like again. I do like to tilt it just to make sure, you know, to see if it would actually fit the glass that I'm using. And I know it's not, so I'm going to put some more wax inside of this pot. Now I did just do the last part of this while we are waiting. So now I'm going to clean up those supplies. I just rinse off my brush, you know, in the same hot water. It does come off good. I don't like to mess up my brushes because I reuse them. So just be gentle with it. And I've got to be gentle with all brushes. And I just let it to the side. You know, close this back up. And that is going to sit for a little bit. Okay. Now that has melted. So I am actually going to put a little bit of coloring in here. That was 3 drops. And since this is like an ocean mist, I kind of want it to be like a kind of like an ocean color. Stir it up. And this color is really not all that dark, as you can see. So we're going to add more blue to it, more turquoise in there. So that was 3. I'm going to do probably about 2 more just to see what it looks like. Stir it up again slowly. You don't want to make any too much bubbles while you're stirring. And it does look like I need some more. I'm going to need some more color, as well as some more of the gel wax. So I'm going to put that in there. and let that melt. It should melt pretty quickly. Now the ocean mist, we use about only 1 teaspoon. So I pour about 1 teaspoon in here. And you pour it in there. And then I always rinse my cups out after I get done, because you know you're using different scents and different colors and everything like that. So you always want to make sure that you rinse out your stuff. Stir it up to make sure that the scent gets in there good enough. Okay, you can kind of see the color. I'm going to make it a little bit darker. Okay, so we're going to let that, the ocean mist smells good too. I'm going to put probably about 3 more drops in here. Okay. And we're going to stir it up some more. It's a pretty blue color that is starting to come out to be, or shall I say turquoise. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but it has started to take some color to it. And I'm thinking I might go just a little bit darker with this. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm going to go just a little bit darker. So I put 3 more drops in there. And I'm going to stir it up some more. I think I'm kind of satisfied with this color. I don't want it too dark of a blue, but I want it, you know, pretty color. No, I might let's do 2 more drops. Okay, I think this should be satisfied. So I'm gonna stir it up some more. Okay. Let me check it now. Yeah, that's pretty. That is a beautiful color right there. So I'm going to add just a little bit more candle wax in there. Sometimes it is always good to be on the safe side. When you're doing your candles, you rather have more gel made than not enough. So if you don't have enough, then it could possibly ruin your candle, or you would have to do like a quick meltdown, in which you would actually turn up the heat and just like burn it down really quick before your candle actually settles and cools off. Because once it cools off, you'll see that separation line if you tried to add some more candle wax on top of that. So we are going to let this melt down. Once it melts down, then we will put it into the actual glass to make the candle. So this one is still melting down. I'm just stirring it up, trying to get it to go quicker. I like to get the stuff off the side sometimes. That also kind of tells me of how hot my pot is actually. If it's hard to get off, then you know your pot has cooled down. But I'm also got to keep in mind that I am cooking on a double burner, so it does automatically have, you know, a cool off, and then it'll turn back on again. So I'm going to turn it back up just a little bit. Now the red light just came back on. You heard it click. I'm going to try to speed up the process just a little bit, and then I'm going to cool it down. So as you can see that it is starting to melt. And when you're cooking on your actual stove, you're not going to have that period where it's, you know, timing out, where the burner turns off. So it'll take a little bit shorter of a process for this one. But see, I like the double burners because then it gives me time to prepare glasses. Now I normally do about, I would say, I prepare about 2 to 4 glasses at a time, because I like to, you know, have my glasses already prepared. That way, once one is cooling off, I'm starting the next one, and I will show you in that. And once this one is done, and it has started, so we're going to cool it down some, stir it up some more. Okay. So that is done. We are going to actually do the glass now. Okay, so here is my glass right here. I am now going to pour the candle wax in it. Okay, so now that is in there and it is done. We're going to set it aside so it can cool, and I will show you. Okay, so now I'm going to prepare this next glass. I normally start off by putting whenever you are getting rid of, well, selling, I shouldn't say getting rid, selling your candles. So I am putting my warning label. And now I am preparing for the next candle. So I have this, I took it off for a bit because it was getting too hot. So now I'm preparing the next candle, which is the same glass, same scent, but we're going to do a cranberry color. Okay, so this is what this one looks like. It is settling at the moment, so we're not going to disturb it, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like while it's settling. And we're going to do the same kind of glass but a different color. Okay, so now I have this one prepared and it is waiting for the gel. So we're going to set this one aside. Okay. So that has melted, so we're going to add some more to it. We want to keep, you know, we don't want to burn the wax. Okay. So we're going to let that melt down. So this, I had already started to put the coloring in there, only because it's a block and I have to cut it. So I use this little box cutter that I got from Family Dollar. And I just use it to shave little pieces off of this block right here. So as you can see that the color is in there. We're going to stir it up. We are going to add some more gel to this. So this is a cranberry color, as you can see. So we're going to add some more gel to it. So while we were waiting, I did go ahead and put the 1 ounce of the scent in there. Okay. And now we are waiting for this to melt. And then once it melts, we are going to add it to the glass. So this is how I am able to make about just almost about 2 candles at a time. Sometimes it takes me to do about, depending on how I want to do it, probably 3 or 4 hours to make probably 6 candles. It depends on if, see, I would already be done if I would have had the double burners going. But I'm doing this little tutorial for you guys so that you can see how it's being made just by using 1 burner. It does take a little bit longer, but when you have 2 burners going, that's for when you are actually knowing what you are doing. Use the 2 burners. You'll have 2 candles going at once. I do have a box that has a whole bunch of different glasses in there that I have to go through and make. This is my box of glasses. This is what I get from the thrift store. I mean, you have all these different types. Like this one, I thought this was gorgeous. Little bird. I will be making that into a candle. And I can't get it in the box. Let's see. I have a pineapple looking one that I'm going to make into a pineapple. You have different glasses. I have bowls that I'm going to be using as candles as well. So that's just a little snippet of, you know, the types of glasses that you can get from the thrift store, which is all cheap, 49 cents up to $1. Sometimes you can get, if there's more than 1 glass that's the same, sometimes they have them like 4 for $5 or 4 for $8 or something like that. It depends on the thrift store. You know, different colored glasses, the little stickers are 50% off. So, you know, that's the best place. I get my glasses. I do wash my glasses. I either hand wash them or I put them through the dishwasher before, because there's some glasses that I use as actual drinking glasses like this. This is for one of my best friend's wedding. This is her toasting glasses. So as you can see, it's kind of hard. Let me put it up against, this is the groom's. So, yeah, so I, do stuff like that for actual drinking glasses. Okay, and now we are back to the pots. Looks like the pot is kind of doing kind of good. Looks like it did time out a little bit, which is okay. But it is on high, so it's about to be like melting quick. I'm getting this stuff off the sides as usual. You don't have to, but I like to. I do save them. If I make a lot, I will save them and put them into a container and label it like the containers such as this. This is patchouli. It wasn't that much left, but I try to save as much as I can because I do get little small glasses where they can fit into. I can make it as a candle later. Depends. So we are going to actually check it because I have not tilted it up yet to see where I'm at. I would probably say a little bit more in there. So I'm going to add some more gel. Now while this part is going through another stage of melting, we are going to check on this one. So normally I kind of tilt it just to see, and it does not look like it is moving really any. So we're going to take the sticks off. And as you can see, I have taken it off. I've also cut the wick off. So we have a nice, beautiful candle. Lovely. And these burn a lot longer than your soy and your paraffins. So I've had my customers tell me that they are very satisfied with my candles. And when are they ever going to go out? And I'm like, and I just jokingly said, you got to blow them out. But no, they do last a whole lot longer if you want to burn them. Or you can just sit them, on a beautiful stand and just let it sit there. And you can still smell them. Your family members or friends will come by and they'll probably smell them and be like, oh, these do smell good. So you can get them scented, unscented, colored, not colored. It depends on you. Normally, if you're here in my state, I will, if you get a candle, you burn it out, you can bring me the glass back and I can do you another candle at half price. So that's like a kind of like a little incentive that I do for my clients, my customers, whatever you want to. I prefer clients. So that is this one, and we are going to go back to the other one. It is still melting. But it is looking really good. And I am going to put the scent in there. If I can get this little stubborn piece to go stick there. Okay. Now, putting the scent in. And I did not rinse this out because I was still using the same scent. But now that I'm done with it, I am going to rinse it out. So we've got to stir this up. Make sure the scent is in there pretty good. Another test that you can do for your quality of your candles is that if it clouds up, then you have too much scent in the candle. So you don't want it cloudy. There you go. So now we are going to pour this into the glass that was already prepared and sitting aside. So I'm going to grab the glass. So here is the glass. And we are going to pour this into the glass. The slower you pour, the less bubbles that it makes. Okay, so now we are going to let this sit like the other one. Okay, and there you have it. You have your cranberry and you have your turquoise. So I do thank you guys for sitting here with me while I made my 2 gel candles. There will be more videos to come doing different glasses. Thank you. Have a good day.